Oh.
And to show the new homeowner, you know, what is possible with this lake.
Got one. Oh, that's a big one.
This way, capper management plan works.
Why is the lake doing this? Why are we having these issues? What can I do to turn it around? It's a phenomenal tool to use if you are planning on treating your own lake.
Yeah, this is gonna
Say, why would anybody have a rock pile? Structure, 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 structure. One part about this, back here we have quite a bit of structure in the lake, a bunch of fallen down trees. Anything overgrown in that area, I'm not concerned about, because that's where dyes are a phenomenal tool. They are non-toxic, and this is not the only pond that has vegetation issues. Right there, I just got a call for a new customer. Hey, I have issues, vegetation issues, can you help me out? Yeah, absolutely. Now, I've been with lakes multiple years where it was the same for 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden curly leaf got in. My bass, my largemouth bass, that is sitting in a brush pile and eating everything that goes by, sucking it in, just bringing in those calories, is going to get fat. That's all he can do. And my fish are swimming around 18 hours a day to get 3 meals. That's not a very good calories game, because he is expelling all of his
What do you say, Jeff?
How we doing, Cap?
How's it going, man?
Good, how you doing, brother?
Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Welcome back. We're going to treat the pond today?
Yes, sir. We're going to get her all set up for this year. We're going to do some dye. We're going to do some muck buster, which will work on the organic material on the bottom that we're going to get rid of. And we're also going to treat the edges, because we have some vegetation coming up that we don't necessarily want. So we're going to get rid of it, and we'll be good to go.
All right. J.R. Hoffman Ponds. I like it. We're going to bring you guys some cool video today. The dye is my favorite part. Of course, spraying. Anytime you can wipe out weeds, that's always cool.
Hey guys, Capper here. Welcome back. Today's going to be a full-length, very informative video on everything you need to know about pond treatments. Some people may or may not agree to some of these, but Jeff is going to explain everything on what he's doing, what it's meant to do, and if there's any limitations and so forth. So you could see it's very wet here. So normally he just backs up his boat trailer with his pickup truck, but we got record rains. You see the washouts right there on the ground. We got record rains literally like 4 hours ago in the late, middle of the night and late morning. But he had a 4 or 5 hour drive coming from central Illinois to come and treat our southern Illinois pond. By the way, if you're interested in someone that's very reliable, that can bring your pond back to good pond health, grow some bigger bass or bluegills or catfish or whatever you got in your pond, his information and contact info will be in the description. So anyways, let's fast forward here and get this boat dropped in and see how today's gonna go. Thanks a lot.
Man, is it wet.
Whew.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it is saturated.
Wow.
All right, here we go. And that is why I researched a light boat.
Yeah, that's darn good for a one-man operation.
Yeah, as soon as my tires hit, I'm good. I can launch.
So just when are you going to do the dye?
I'll spray first. So that would be another one to get with the drone. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I've got a heavy dye in there, so everything I spray is going to be
Oh,
blue.
okay. Well, I'll put it up now then.
Yeah. Okay. So what we got going today, we are basically getting our lake back in line. We've got some vegetation come up, we've got some algae come up. Our dye from last year has kind of dissipated, so we're not getting the sun blocking effects that we are looking for. Not to mention, here in Illinois, we've had an extreme amount of rain the last several weeks, and everything is at max capacity, and any dye that was in there is no longer. So we're gonna get her back in line. Got some vegetation. You'll see as we go around, there's some vegetation popping up around shore that we don't want, so we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of some vegetation. We'll leave some that we think is in a good area also. So this is not a total extermination. This is a management tool for us. I use a blue dye in my spray. That allows me to see exactly where I'm spraying and how much coverage I'm getting. It's a phenomenal tool to use if you are planning on treating your own lake. So if you notice, everything I spray, it'll turn instantly blue. Now, that does not mean that the product I'm using is blue. It's just I've dyed it so I can see it. We're gonna, basically what's gonna happen now, I'll get my sprayer set up. We're just gonna go around the lake and we're gonna hit everything that we see that we do not want. And we're off. Safety first. Remember, you can't swim if you're unconscious. Tip for the day. Now, one part about this, back here we have quite a bit of structure in the lake, a bunch of fallen down trees. You know, anything overgrown in that area, I'm not concerned about, because that is an area that I am not necessarily using all the time, like a swimming area. So that can stay natural, and that's okay, and it won't overtake the lake, you know. Basically what we're into now is tailoring our lake. Where do we want vegetation and where do we not want vegetation? What's good for the fish? You know, what plan do I want? Am I growing fish? Do I need that vegetation to where I don't take any out, you know, for the entire year? It all just depends on how you're using it. Right now we have some primrose around the edges. Primrose is phenomenal. It's easy to control. It gives great coverage for the fish. So I have a hard time killing off primrose because it is such a beneficial vegetation, but it's not exactly what we want in this situation. So, and every situation is different. That's why I enjoy this. There's a lot of mystery involved, you know? Why is the lake doing this? Why are we having these issues? What can I do to turn it around? You know, what can I do to have the least amount of impact on the ecosystem? That's where dyes are a phenomenal tool. They are non-toxic, it blocks the sunlight, and it usually makes it to where you can control your lake with just very little effort. So I'm a big fan of the dyes. And if you do it properly, it doesn't look terrible either. Now, also what we have going on over this property, we have deer management going on, trophy deer management. So I don't necessarily want to kill off vegetation around the edges of the lake unless it is an area where I come to fish. Then yeah, I'll keep that area clear, you know. Or if I have a shoreline that has twice as much vegetation as last year, I can cut that back by a quarter and set it up for the coming year. So it's all about how you're going to use your lake and your management practices. Now this particular property is getting ready to go up for sale. So they want it looking nice for the sale of the home, you know, and to show the new homeowner, you know, what is possible with this lake.
Oh, got one. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, that's a nice one. Wow. Oh, geez, look at that. Come on, bring them up here, baby. Holy buckets. Look at that. Okay, hold him tight. He's gonna be heavy. Holy cows! Oh, the capper, bring him this way. Capper management plan works. Holy cows! Oh, that is a beast.
Really nothing of concern in this area. Pretty nice. The way this is set up, oh, there's a red cap. I forget what mushroom I seen over here. Very cool. The way this is set up, we've got a pond over here and a cut through, and then another pond on the other side. The conditions in this pond over here, and now you have two ponds that are in the exact same location. You could have two totally different issues going on. This side is somewhat clear, you know, no vegetation issues other than stuff that's coming up that we want to get managed, like you say, for the sale of the house, or how we would want it, you know, going into the summertime for us. There is aeration in here, so with aeration being in the lake, vegetation, algae, rooted vegetation, all that is not as important to me, because I'm supplementing the oxygen with a pump and diffusers, bottom diffusers. So my water is already oxygen saturated, and that's what I want. Right now you can tell we've had quite a bit of rain. The lake is an olive drab color. We will not have that when I am done. Right there. And this is not the only pond that has vegetation issues. Right there, I just got a call for a new customer. Hey, I have issues, vegetation issues. Can you help me out? Yeah, absolutely. One, let's start with what vegetation issues do we have? How long have they been there? What's our plan on getting rid of them? And what is the best for the lake? So a lot of different factors go into how my lake looks on any particular year. Now, I've been with lakes multiple years where it was the same for 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden curly leaf got in, and I had to treat it for multiple years in a row. So you just never know, you know. Geese, ducks, wildlife, they bring in all kinds of vegetation from lake to lake, so it's going to happen. The trick is to manage it when it does happen, so it does not become a problem. We're going to make our way all the way around this side of the lake, and then we'll go to the other side. There's the cut through where we head to the other side. Now right here, you know, I've got some willows growing up. I'm okay with that. I don't have any issues with that, because we are trying to grow the fish. In order to grow the fish, we need to give them everything they need. Sometimes they need cover, you know. So and when you start getting into management, especially growing your fish, it becomes a calories game. You know, my bass, my largemouth bass, that is sitting in a brush pile and eating everything that goes by, sucking it in, just bringing in those calories, is going to get fat. That's all he can do, okay? If I have no cover in my lake, and my fish are swimming around 18 hours a day to get 3 meals, that's not a very good calories game, because he is expelling all of his calories that he's taken in just to survive. So, and we don't want that. We want to set it up to where he can thrive. He, she, whoever, our fish. So we got some vegetation growing along the edge here, so we're hitting that. And we got a drone behind us. That's very cool. I didn't even see him. sometimes you just got to go in reverse. So we'll go out and around this way. Quite a bit of grass is growing up on the edge here that we don't necessarily want there, so we'll go ahead and paint them blue, and then they will end up disappearing, because that's our main area access to the lake. So we want this to be completely clear of vegetation for most of the time. Nothing to kill off the vegetation. That is just for me, for visual purposes. Because I'm going to be dyeing the lake anyways, that allows me to see, like I said earlier, the coverage, if I missed anything. All right, we're done with this side, so we're going to head to the other. We do have quite a bit of water. All lakes in Illinois are pretty much at max capacity right now, so we just got to be careful going through this cut. Because we love our engine, don't we? Yeah. Yes, we do. We love our props. We love our engines. Okay, so this side, quite a bit more vegetation around the edges. Just in general, that would be the difference, just more vegetation. So we're going to go down this way, start down here, and work our way all the way around. When spraying, wind direction is everything. So I will spend most of my time setting up my boat for a pass, you know, because I don't want to be eating these chemicals the entire time I'm spraying, you know. So a lot of it is common sense when it does come to treating your own lake. Now I know I've got the shoreline pretty well covered, so I'm just going to slow down and just get this entire area. Any grasses, because it's a dam area, I don't want it overgrown with vegetation, because I don't want anything punching through my dam. Cattails are notorious for putting holes in ponds. So I'm on a rock. And sometimes, I forgot about this, there's rock piles in lakes. There's one right there. Say, why would anybody have a rock pile? Structure, 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 structure. Every trophy lake has got structure. It has to. Otherwise, your fish just use up all their calories swimming around. Giant rocks right there. So we're gonna have to move up and then back up just a hair. And like you say, primrose, if you're wanting a vegetation in your lake that is helpful to your fish, that is not a nuisance per se, primrose is a phenomenal vegetation. Lots of cover for all different kinds of fish, invertebrates, frogs, bugs. Ooh, there we are. There's that rock I talked about. I do have a prop budget every year. Yes, I do. In case you were wondering. Now, another thing that I'm doing, okay, as I go around the lake, I'm taking inventory of what vegetation we do have, anything new from last year that we didn't see, or anything that we had last year that we don't this year. Water clarity, which right now everything is chocolate milk because of all the rain. How are my, are there fish spawning? Do I see beds? What kind of beds? Are they bluegill beds? Obviously the bass have already spawned. What condition everything is in from last year? Did we get quite a bit of storms that blew in a bunch of debris that is going to take longer for the muckbuster to make disappear? And like you say, if you are looking for, there's a fish right there, then that is exactly why, because that fish was exactly where he should have been. He was buried in the cover. He was an ambush predator, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to ambush fish as they go by. We just spooked him up out of there. And the nice thing about this primrose, it makes, it makes a mat on top of the water, but it doesn't grow down. It does, but only in certain spots. So you basically end up getting this blanket of vegetation where your fish tend to hide under. Your minnows are attracted to that, so obviously your bigger fish are going to be sitting in that waiting for them to waiting to ambush them, because it's an easy meal. And fish are smart. They're going to survive. We're just going to give them everything they need to thrive, because that is the goal. We want to pack pounds on, we want to add inches to our fish, and we want a healthy ecosystem in the process. The aeration and the oxygen saturation is a phenomenal tool that every lake should use. It pretty well eliminates the chance of having turnovers throughout the year, because you don't get that stratification throughout the lake. So phenomenal tool. Now, and like you say, this will take a treatment, and then we will be good, most likely, for the majority of the rest of the year. So that's where aeration is a cost up front, but when you talk about not having to treat as much, it really pays dividends, and just the healthiness of your fish pays dividends. So,
Big one.
Ow. Help me.
Holy cows.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Juicy.
Nice.
pays dividends. So now we're getting some moss, some different vegetation, a little bit of scum. all that'll be taken care of.
Sorry, wiping out that top stuff.
Yep. Yep. Yep, that will turn brown and then it will disappear. The last thing to go is always the stem because it takes the longest to disintegrate.
I can't imagine how bad this would have been.
What's that?
I can't imagine how bad this would have been.
Oh yeah.
When you did it last year, whatever, it was worse, way worse
Yeah.
than this.
Yeah. So like you say, each year,
Yeah.
a little better, and the next thing you know, you may not have to do anything for a couple years. You know, because, and the key is that getting that bottom muck that is just fueling that nutrients to the lake, you get that out, then you just deal with runoff, you know. Okay, so we have quite a bit of rain, quite a bit of nutrients got washed in the lake. Now that's what we're battling now. So, but and like you say, last year we had twice as much. So now, and we were spraying earlier in the year. So, okay, I'm gonna run around and get the muck buster in, and then I'll be ready for dye. I think I've got that shoreline over there to spray, and then I'll be ready. So we're gonna do muck buster, then we're gonna do dye. What is muck buster? Muck buster is these pellets, beneficial pond bacteria. They go down and they break up the muck that is on the bottom that we want to get rid of, that's fueling the nutrient issue. So we're gonna go around to all the shallow areas and throw this out. So you can come along with us. Shallow areas, and I want it in beach areas and anywhere where there's a heavy leaf load, because that's where you're going to get the majority of your problems and the majority of your mud. What's up? As soon as I toss these out, I'll be ready. So I'm gonna toss them, and when I get to the other side, I'll be ready for dye. Also, with us feeding our fish, I want to run muck buster around the feeder so that is not an area that gets a lot of waste from the fish in that area. This will keep that from happening. Now, you know, I've got treatment around the edges. I don't want to go blowing all around my lake top speed and then washing off everything that I've got treated. So things to keep in mind when you are taking care of your own ponds. Okay, now this is a transition zone between lakes. So there's definitely going to be buildup on both sides. So we definitely want to run the muck buster in this area. And if you look up and around, quite a bit of leaf load on this side. So we're going to go pretty heavy on this side. No snakes. Oh, I hit the GoPro. That's a terrible throw. There we go. And you just want to broadcast these out and get them working. They go down and eat that muck away, and next thing you know, you're back down to hard bottom. That's what we're going for. So that's done. Now we're going to be on to dye. Everybody's favorite part. I'm just rearranging the boat right now, getting everything set up for the next task.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking through this whole video. I'm glad you made it through the whole thing. Stay tuned for part 2. You know, this is a 30-minute video, but part 2 is going to be cool. I got a lot of really cool drone footage of putting in the pond dye, and we'll explain why pond dye, what it does for your pond, how it improves it, how it reduces the weed growth, and all that. So if you made it this far, thank you. Please hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate it. It might help us out just a tiny bit, but I'll post part 2 here very shortly, you know, within a day or two maybe, if you catch this one. So I hope to see you again on part 2 and other future videos, because we are moving to Missouri. At least now we're supposed to close on a new farm like next Friday. And today is May 15th, 2024. So a lot could be happening starting in like 7 or 8 days from now. So stay tuned, and I hope you join us. We'd love to have you aboard for all of our new adventures. Look at that cool pond, cool dye. That is just so cool. And the pond is really mucky right now because we've had just record rains. That's why it's so, you know, dark looking, and that's all the clay that runs in from the hillside. So have a great one. I'll catch you later. Thanks a lot.